shit no more, man.
What's going on, everyone? It's Genix, and today we're going to be talking about a video called Do All Furries Really Deserve the Hate? Now, this video was created by an individual called Bree Draws. She's a YouTuber with over 100,000 subscribers who is mainly known for her art-style commentary videos. Now, after my last video I did on an individual trying to defend the furry community did extremely well, which I greatly appreciate, I figured I'd make a part 2 on another person trying to defend the furry community. This video will be a bit more interesting to look at, because unlike the last person I talked about, Bree actually tries to make some actual arguments in her video instead of completely pulling shit out of her ass. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get on with the video.
All the furries I've met are the sweetest people ever. So the short answer to the title is no. The long answer is no, just kidding. That was a TMNT reference.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The actual long answer is going to be explained throughout this video, as you can guess. This part was very unnecessary, but I had to add the reference, so sorry not sorry. The self-proclaimed furry hunters are going to come after me in the comments, I'm sure of it. Wait, do they still call themselves that?
If I'm correct, I think there are still some furry hunters out there. But I'm pretty sure the amount of them has gotten smaller over time. From what I have heard, they're mostly just called anti-furries now. I could be completely wrong, however, so if somebody actually knows, please let me know down in the comments.
I think it's okay to find furries cringe or weird or dislike them, but that's an opinion that you shouldn't have to affect others with. Sure, make your own videos expressing your dislike on the topic or talk about your dislike for it in general. That's okay, it's your opinion. But it's a huge problem when you go around hating on furries directly or dragging them into your videos to laugh at them.
If they're promoting degenerate behavior or trying to get people into this weird stuff at a young age, then that's where the problem mainly comes. Also, you need to understand that the internet is not a friendly place. No matter who you are or what you do with your life, there are going to be people that are going to laugh at you and try to piss you off in general.
Furries are literally just people who like to dress up as or draw humanized animals.
Actually, no, that is a lie. According to research, there is an estimated 30 to 50% of furry artwork that is available online is categorized as pornography. And you would mostly find this type of artwork on major furry platforms such as Fur Affinity, E621, Weasel, and Ink Bunny.
And the hate is crazy. It's one of the most hated fandoms I've seen. It's insane. Some people have went as far as to say if they think they're an animal, we should put them down like one. Which, what the heck? It is actually disgusting to say that type of stuff, and how can you even say that and not feel anything whatsoever?
Bitch, please. I said worse shit than that. It's really not that serious. There's a reason my Xbox account has nearly been banned for harassment and bullying, and why I'm also hated in the dead by Daylight community. If you think that's bad, then you should have seen what me and the boys had to deal with in the old Call of Duty game lobbies.
I'm a pussy that use my shield.
Oh, I'm a what do you want me to use?
Faggot.
You tell me what you want me to fucking use.
Prestige, you fucking fag.
Tell me what to fucking use, huh? Tell me what to fucking use, huh? Tell me what to fucking use to play the fucking game.
Shut the fuck up.
And I'll fucking work you. You fucking fucking faggot.
Pussy.
That's right. Yum, 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 I eat dick all day. Yum, 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 I eat dick.
You wanna fight?
You
eat dick?
Nope.
What a fucking homo.
Exactly.
You eat dick. This nigga said he eats dick. You a homo, nigga.
I was making fun of you, you dickhead. Fucking you
Making fun of yourself, you fucking idiot. You're looking like a loser right now. You test Prestige using
fucking
a
evil looking motherfucker. That's what the fuck you are.
Now that right there is music to my ears. But on a serious note, what they're basically saying is that if you want to dress up like an animal and do all that weird shit such as acting like one, then yes, you should be put down like an animal. If you don't like what people are saying about you, then stop posting that stuff online for millions of people to see so they can laugh at you. It's really not that hard to understand with a basic IQ.
And I'll get into the whole misconception that furries think that they're animals later on. And you might argue that there's a weird side of the fandom, but that's like every fandom. No matter what fandom you're in, there's a weird side. So basing your opinions on all furries due to seeing a couple oddballs in the bunch is kind of dumb in my opinion. And I've seen many people say that all furries are weirdos, which isn't true at all. You haven't met every furry, so how would you know if every single one of them was a weirdo? You don't.
I'll give you credit there, sure. Every community or fandom has a weird side to them. Now, if you want to know one of the main reasons why people hate the furry community so much is not only because of the degenerates that are in it, but also the entire concept of being a furry in general. Like, let's be realistic on something. Let's just say there's an average guy walking down the street, and all of a sudden he sees a grown-ass man wearing a fursuit doing some weird-ass dance like the fucking Smiling Man. Do you really think he's gonna find that shit normal even if he hasn't met the guy? No, of course not. And can you really blame the guy? Like, come on now. Who in the right mind would look at somebody who does weird-ass shit like this be considered normal? Back in my day, we would have considered these people mentally ill and would want to put them in a mental institution and throw away the key.
Now, I'm not going to go deep into the adult-centered content surrounding furries, but I will mention it as it is a very big factor in furry hate, but I'm sure there are many creators willing to discuss that side more in depth. But for a small tidbit of my opinion, I do see why some may be uncomfortable with it, but it isn't an excuse for harassment. Many people think of that side of the fandom when they think of furries, but that's just one side of the community. And literally every community and fandom has NSFW, so why is it different here?
Bitch, are you dumb? They're literally drawing porn based on fucking animals. How the fuck does that not raise any red flags for you? Regardless of whether what fandom or who makes it, pornography is not good at all. There have been multiple studies showing that it has an extreme negative effect on the human brain at any age. I really don't understand how you don't see what's the problem with people drawing porn based off of animals. That stuff literally brings up the question if these people who make this stuff are part of a certain group.
Is it a bit weird to many? Sure, and that's understandable. I get uncomfortable with anything from that realm, but I'm not going to go out and harass people about it. I'm just going to respectfully keep my distance from that side of the internet and mind my business. The only time I'd view that content as bad is if it was easily accessible to kids, like if they aren't putting in the time and effort to make sure kids cannot access it, or if it's just gross material like non-con.
And that's actually a big issue in the furry community. There have been many cases where creators have been criticized for making NSFW content while also having their content appeal to kids. Take Blazy Fox, for example. This 31-year-old man was criticized for uploading NSFW content to his YouTube channel despite having videos that were targeted for children. And you know what he did when he got called out for his weird behavior? He tried to abuse the copyright system on YouTube and blocked multiple people on Twitter for criticizing him. Another person who was criticized for similar actions was Poggy. She would upload videos that targeted minors despite them having adult-like content in them. And what did she do in response to the criticism? Downplay the things people were calling her out for, take no accountability for her actions, and blaming the parents for their kids stumbling upon her videos. And one more example I can show you is Sashley, who claims her channel is for people 16 plus, despite allegedly having a server for people 13 and older. Not even to mention the questionable artwork she tends to post online, which many people criticized her for drawing underage girls in suggestive poses and outfits. She then took a one-year hiatus from the internet and came back claiming that she was going to stop doing this type of artwork and focus putting more of her feelings into her content. But that was later found out to have been a lie because she would then start making the exact same questionable artwork she was doing before.
Really, nigga?
If you aren't going to change, then just say it. But don't get mad when people start criticizing your artwork or calling it some gooner bait shit.
Commenting on the furry hate, it's honestly so dumb. A lot of the haters I've seen will just comment furry under a post, like, huh? How is commenting furry an insult? Like, what? Congratulations, I guess? You figured it out. Next, you need to figure out what a real insult is, because oh my gosh, I get secondhand embarrassment about how dumb you guys sound.
Kid, I get secondhand embarrassment from your fucking knowledge. It's very clear you don't see the issues with the furry community, and you try to downplay them as much as possible.
Also, barking at furries? The haters are usually the ones barking, not the furries, which I find so funny.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
I love to call people who bark at me or others furries, like that'll piss them off real quick.
So you're basically giving them the attention they want? Yeah, that's totally not gonna encourage them to keep going. Fucking idiot.
They also say being a furry as a kid ruins the kids' childhoods, as if 90% of people didn't pretend to be animals while playing when they were younger.
There's a difference between playing pretend as a child and being a part of a community that has almost no reason to be considered for children. That's like saying a child can be transgender because they told their parents they are the opposite gender they were assigned at birth, or they act more like the opposite gender. In which, no, let the kids be kids and stop trying to get them to believe these delusional thoughts and take part in this degenerate behavior.
So many kids pretended to play animals, but when they have the label furry, it's suddenly bad. Like when I was 4, I did pageants. I did those things for years, but they'd always have a performance thing where kids could sing and dance or do whatever. But I decided for my little performance in a pageant was to crawl around and bark like a dog in a costume. While that one nursery rhyme that goes something like, "How much is that doggy in the window?" or something played, and the crowd ate that up. They thought I was adorable, and you know what? I was.
Ooh, nobody gives a shit.
Though onto the topic of furry hunters, which I mentioned earlier, they were primarily on TikTok from what I saw, though I'm not sure if they were on other platforms because I really only used TikTok and occasionally watched YouTube at the time, so I don't know. But these people were trending around 2021, I think. I've got no idea, I've forgotten, but maybe even earlier. Most of them were kids around the age of 12, but some were full-grown adults, and they would do up furry posts and have their little Nerf gun in hand while saying nerdy crap like, "Come on boys, let's get 'em." And majority of the furries that they duetted were kids, so adults that did participate in this were just bullying kids, which is just pretty pathetic. You bully these kids, but at least their hobby is more creative and eventful than going online holding a Nerf gun. It was actually embarrassing.
So you think holding a Nerf gun over somebody's post is considered bullying? You really need to get out more. I'm so glad platforms are starting to allow toxicity in gaming again because, holy shit, we need it. People nowadays are too damn soft and need to toughen up.
With the furry haters comes a bit on the reason of why furries are hated. And it's not just with the fact that they think they're weird, but there are actually some misconceptions that gathered furries so much hate. And the first misconception being zoos. No, not the place we look at animals, zoophiles. Zoos are people who like animals a bit too much, and they're honestly disgusting people who should be kept miles away from animals. But the big problem is the misconception that furries are zoos, which is entirely false. Now there are zoos that are furries, but furries are not zoos.
Now, you do bring up a good point, sure, not every furry is a zoophile. But the thing is, you're gonna have to expect people to probably call you a zoophile, especially if you're drawing porn that's based on animals.
Now to the next big misconception that has led to the reason of furries getting so much hate, and that is the fact that they think that furries believe that they're actually animals, which no, furries cosplay as animals but do not believe that they are animals. That's like saying a cosplayer thinks that they're the character that they're dressing up as.
Yeah. I don't know about that. We live in a society nowadays where people think they can identify as whatever they want that they pull out of their ass, and people are expected to accept them. And especially in degenerate communities like the furries, shit like that is pretty common to appear in them. But thankfully, this ignorant bullshit will end soon since we now have our Lord and Savior Donald Trump back in office, so this nightmare will finally come to an end.
I see so many videos that are saying stuff like, "Oh, the furries want litter boxes." Okay, maybe a few goofballs out there want to do that, but it's not all furries.
Wow. A few goofballs. Because it's not like those same goofballs would cause multiple students from a middle school to protest outside it, because they reported that people were coming to the school dressing up like furries and doing weird shit. Some even accused them of biting and scratching other students like, "Are you kidding me?" And what's crazy is that there was a furry who was interviewed on the news to give their opinions on this situation, and you wouldn't believe what they said.
Thank you.
This is Strudel, a member of the furry fandom. Though they've been a furry for over a decade, they have their own opinions.
It's crazy that it's escalated to this point where these kids are being so distracting to their peers that their peers want to stage a walkout. So to have, the next generation kind of muddy our name and not represent it very well, it is kind of disappointing.
Strudel believes there should be some limits.
Continue doing things you like, continue dressing up, continue making art, but maybe let's keep it outside of school hours.
If you have someone from your own community coming out and saying that this shit is a problem and should be kept at home, then you know damn well they're probably telling the truth. And I do gotta give massive respect to Strudel because it's actually good to see that at least some members of the furry community actually have common sense for once in their lives. Now keep in mind, I know Bree's video was posted before the whole litter box thing was found out to had been just a rumor started by some students, but I still find it weird how she downplays this issue like it's nothing. And throughout this video, we've seen her do this multiple times with some of the main problems that people have with the furry community.
Most would probably actually find that disgusting and weird like you guys. And I believe that they are thinking of Therians, which is a completely different thing. And no, for the Therians out there watching this, I am not saying you guys poop in boxes, but I'm talking about the whole concept that you believe you're an animal. I don't know much on Therians, nor do I understand them really, so I won't give an opinion on them. But they're basically people who identify as an animal on a spiritual or psychological level, I think. Though I'm really not sure, so please inform me more in the comments. But but that's basically what the definition online said. But the point is that they're definitely not the same as furries. Therians can be furries, but not all furries are Therians.
Therians are basically delusional-ass crackheads, like how some transgenders think they can be the opposite gender. They think they can be an animal when in reality they cannot. I did make one video on a Therian I found on TikTok who was around my age doing that gay-ass prancing shit outside while claiming to be an adult. All I can really say is don't take them seriously because they're just really fucking weird. But in terms of if furries are the same as Therians, I would say they're the same mainly because they both have people that like to dress up as animals and they tend to do similar things. But that's just my opinion. Now in conclusion, this video was pretty bad. There were a lot of poor arguments made in this video that mainly consisted of downplay and justifying. And the ones that were actually decent, I was able to counter. Now to answer a question you're all probably curious about. Is this video worse than the one I looked at previously? No, but barely. Bree's video gets just by a little mainly because she at least tried to make some arguments in her video. But that's not saying it's a good video, because there are many flaws in the arguments she tries to make. But yeah, there's really nothing else I need to say. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you all for the support, I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
For drama, we smoking nada.